your income tax return using our ClearTax portal. My name is Shekhar Roy. I'm a chartered accountant and I've been part of Clear for the last 4.5 years. In today's session, we are going to go through the process of filing your income tax return using ClearTax portal. However, it is to be remembered that the filing process for the financial year 2022-23 Form 16 is yet to be released. You can take up the entire endeavor a little later point of this time. Right. So, as I was saying, you can start the entire process once you receive your Form 16. As of now, we are going to go through the process of how to upload your Form 16 and how you can file your income tax return using ClearTax. Now, since the Form 16s of this year, that is financial year 2022-23, is not yet released, we are going to see the entire process using last financial year's Form 16s and everything. And let's just jump right into the entire filing process. Now, if you see, if you log into your payroll portal, you will see that this page is there wherein you can file your income tax return. So once you click in this tab, the income tax e-filing tab, you will be taken to this page wherein you can select your Form 16 and you can file your income tax return as it mentions over here. And once you click that, you will be taken to this pop-up page wherein this particular message has been is to be shown to you, and all the details you need to just check, and finally you can click OK and proceed. Now, once you do that, you will be taken to the ClearTax filing page, which I'm going to show you right now. Right. So once you are taken to this page, you will be taken to this particular page wherein you need to put in your PAN number and your date of birth. Now, ClearTax has this option wherein it can fetch the details using Aadhaar OTP, which is already there in the income tax portal. Right. So this is a very good option, and this can save you a lot of time if you have all the details with you. Right. So as of now, we are just going to go ahead and filing. Now we are going to generate the OTP. Now, once there are OTP, the details will be pre-filled, the salary detail and the tax saving detail, whatever details is available with you. Now, once it is done, then you are going to put in the basic details, right? For example, here we are going to put in the details of the person whose return is going to be filed. For example, since this is my return, so let's put my name. Right. So from here you need to input the details, your name, surname, date of birth, etc., etc. Your Aadhaar number will be there, your PAN number and everything will be there, mobile number, etc., etc. Finally, you need to put in your email address. Now, if you scroll down, you will come to this particular page wherein you need to input your address, right? So once you put in the address and everything, uh, it will be taken to the next segment wherein you need to put in your bank details, right? So you can check the bank details of yourself and input the details over here, right? Now, once you input the details, it will be saved and you will be taken to a page wherein you can upload the form 16. Now, uh, since we are going to upload the form 16 and fetch the details from there onwards, we are simply going to go ahead and upload the form 16. Now from here, we are getting the form 16, and if the password, the form 16 is password protected, it will prompt for the password. Now again, going to input the password. Right. As you can see, the password, after inputting the password, the form 16 has been read perfectly. All the details are appearing over here. And from onwards, we can just move ahead to proceed to e-filing. Right. So again, this will be asking what if you have already done this OTP, it will not be asking. Since we have not gone ahead and input the details as per the OTP, we are just going ahead and filing the income tax return, right? Now, as you can see, after inputting the form 16, every detail has been captured. The salary, the exempt allowance like HRA and anything other than that, everything has been captured from the form 16 itself. Now, there are certain cases wherein you forget to mention, your HRA allowance or any other things for that matter, right? So over here, we still have this option to claim HRA details. So if you can see over here in this section, exempt allowance under section 810, you can claim the HRA exemption, you can claim LT exemption, and if you have any other exemptions for the matter, you can claim it. Now, HRA exemption, as we have said multiple times over our previous webinars, that entire amount of rent that you are paying cannot be taken as deduction for HRA. There is a calculation that happens, right? So the calculation, for your understanding, I will quickly go through it once again. So to compute the actual exempted HRA, you need to see which is the lesser of these three following figures. Number one, 40% of the basic if you are staying in any other cities other than metro cities. Now, metro city for this purpose is very limited. The metro cities for HRA purposes are Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, and Chennai. Right? If you are not residing any of these cities for your employment purposes, we need to look at 40% of the basic. But by any chance, if you are staying in Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, or Chennai, in that case, we are going to take a look at 50% of the basic, right? Now, second figure for HRA purposes is the actual amount of HRA that you are receiving, the HRA component of your salary. And thirdly, the amount of rent that you have paid minus 10% of the basic. Out of these three figures, whichever is the lesser, that will be given to you as HRA exemptions. Now, after doing that, if you have any other exemptions, say for example, food coupon or anything else, it will be listed as others and it will be picked from the form 16 itself. Now, if you from the form 16, standard deduction of 50,000 rupees will be given. This is a standard amount, so there is no question about its deductibility. Professional tax, obviously, again, this forms part of your form 16, and 2,400 rupees will be given to you as deduction. Now, once we do that, we will the salary page will be saved. Whatever the details you are declaring under salary, it will be saved. Now again, if you have some house property income, or if you have taken a home loan which is self-occupied either by you or your dependent parents, and you have taken a home loan for it, uh, that amount can be added under self-occupied house property. Now this, if this is already part of the form 16, then it will be automatically fetched. But again, if you are unfortunate enough not to declare this thing, the interest on home loan, in that case you can simply go ahead and make the entry manually. For these purposes, again, you need to have the house property under your name, and the house property should be completed. The loan amount should be in your name as well. Now, you can just simply just go ahead and make the manual entry. You need to put in the amount of interest. Let's assume the amount of interest that has been paid is 1 lakh rupees. So we are going to input 1 lakh rupees. Now, during our tax saving webinars, we have discussed about if you have paid interest during the pre-construction period, that is while the house was under construction, in that case, you cannot claim the interest amount, but you can accumulate the amount and you can claim the amount once the house is completed over a period of 5 years equally. Now, if this is the situation, and if we assume that 2 lakh rupees of interest has been accumulated, we can simply go ahead and make the claim over here. Now, we are assuming the house is completed in 2021, and we are going to input the figure. Total amount that we have paid is 2 lakh rupees, right? So 1/5 of that will be 40,000 rupees, and that detail will be calculated. Now, to claim this amount, you need to input the address of the house property. We are assuming the address is same as the address that is provided for personal information, right? We are simply just going to go ahead and use it by ticking off this particular box. If the house property address is not the same, you can put the details manually. Now, if the house property is co-owned, you can input the details of co-owner, and whatever details you are inputting, it will be split in two, right? Now, let's just go ahead. So there is a rental income which has been claimed, as we can see, house property 1. Now, if you have any other sources of income, for example, if you have FD income, if you have savings bank account income, those details you can obviously input over here. Now, for example, if you have some savings bank account interest, now these details, it can be obtained from either of two sources. Number one, you can refer to your bank statement. Usually savings bank account interest is given to you in a quarter-wise fashion. That is, in a year, you will be given this savings bank account interest 4th time. You need to track down these details from your bank statement. Or if you have AIS, you can look for the amount that is listed under AIS savings bank account interest. You can input the amount. Let's assume we are putting the details manually. So we are just going to give it the name, and we are going to input this is the amount of interest that we have received. Right now, interest income from deposit, that is actually your FD income, right? Again, if you have some amount of FDs, earnings from FD, you can input the details from here. Again, let's assume we have some FD income and we are inputting some details over here as well. Right? Fund, and you have earned some interest on it, you can put the details over here as well. Say there is some 1,000 rupees of interest income from income tax refund. We are just going to input the details. And if you have any other interest income, for example, if you have interest income from bond, if you have interest income from debenture, anything, you can list it over here. Right? Once you do that, you need to save it. and other income page is done. Now, many of us usually do trading in the stock market, right? So this trend has been particularly in focus from COVID times. During COVID times, there are many people who got interested in stock market. They started investing, and since there are lot many online brokers, and they can create your demat account very quickly and without any hassle whatsoever. So a lot of people got started in investing in stock market. Now, since most of us will be investing the money, taking them out and doing all these things, uh, right. So, if you have any of these assets, if you are investing through any of the online mode, and you are investing through any of these share brokers, you can simply download their capital gain statement, their tax profit and loss statement, and upload them. Now, once you do that, all the details will be picked from that statement. For example, if you are trading in mutual funds, right? You are buying and selling mutual fund units. Most definitely, there will be either of these two statement provider or depositories. One is CAMS, another is KFintech. Now you can simply download their details and upload it, and all the details will be picked from there easily. If you are unsure about how to do it, there is a little bit of guide which will give you a detail on how to do it. Right. So this again is a very useful little tool to report your capital gains income. Now, we are not going to get into that. Let's go down to if capital gains, if you have any other business income. Now, business income, if you have some business, some sort of business income, you have some side hustle that goes on, you can report that income as a business income, right? So that amount can be reported under business income. So for example, if you are doing some sort of freelancing, maybe coding or something like that, in that case, you can input the details under 44 ADA, and you can input the details, the nature of business. Say, for example, it's IT consultancy, IT software development or software consultancy. You can simply input the detail. You can input the name of the trade. So usually if it is done on individual capacity, the trade name and the person's name is the same. You can simply input the details. You can input the detail of turnover and total income as per the law, right? You can simply do that, and once everything is done, you can simply just go back. save it and go back. Right. Now, once everything is done, you can simply move into tax saving. Now, over here, there are a lot of deductions like ATC. Now, you need to input all the ATC deductions as a sum total and input the details over here. Now, from the form 16, you can input the details will be fetched once the form 16 is uploaded. Again, if you have missed the investment declaration window, in that case, you can put the details manually on your own and you can simply sum up all the ATC investment, that is ELSS investment, home loan principal, tuition fee of children, tax saver FDs, SSY, etc., etc., LIC, life insurance, all these things combined together, you can report the amount in a consolidated fashion, right? However, it is to be kept in mind that maximum amount that can be claimed under ATC is 1,50,000 rupees, right? Now, you can input the detail for your parents as well. In this case, the parents are senior citizens, so higher limit of 50,000 will be made applicable for them, and all the details again can be fetched from the form 16 if you have submitted all the proofs and it had been considered while preparing the form 16. If it is not, again you have this option to claim the amount. Now, since parents, the senior citizen parents have higher limit of deduction, right? Instead of 25,000, they get deduction of up to 50,000 rupees. You need to select the appropriate age group of your parents. So in this case, 60 to 79 because they are senior citizen, and you can input the amount over here, right? If you have some preventive health checkup for yourself, you can certainly input the amount, but it is to be kept in mind for yourself maximum amount can be claimed is 25,000 rupees, that is inclusive of preventive health checkup. And for your parents it can be again 5,000 rupees for preventive health checkup, but that amount is included in 50,000 rupees of deduction, right? You can as you can see the details from savings bank account, it is deductible up to 10,000 rupees. Once you input the details in other income section, the amount will be automatically fetched and reported over here, right? Now, if you are investing in NPS, right, like we have said in the earlier webinars, in that case you can claim the amount under ATCCD. Now, if you are making a contribution under ATCCD 1B, that is, you are not claiming under ATC, but you are claiming under ATCCD 1B. In that case, you can input the amount over here. Let's go ahead and put some amount over here, right? If you have made any charitable donation, right, you can simply just expand the tab over here and you can add the new donation. Now, for these purposes, you need to have a proper receipt for that charitable organization. It should mention their PAN number, it should mention ATG number, ATG registration number, it should mention their address with PIN code, right? If all the details are there in the receipt, then only you will be able to claim. Now, why all these details need to be claimed? Because you have to put the name of the organization, the charitable institute, wherever you are putting the money. If you are putting the money, which mode, that also needs to be checked, and you need to fill the amount. Again, if you are making the donation, or in the future years, if you are planning to make any donation, please do remember that if you are making a donation in cash, the donation cannot be more than 2,000 rupees. If the donation is in cash and the donation is more than 2,000 rupees, then the entire amount of donation cannot be claimed as deduction, right? Oh, no donation, if it is more than 2,000 rupees, is not acceptable if it is given under cash. If it is non-cash, through account paycheck or UPI or something like that, it's absolutely fine. Now, over here, you need to mention the PAN of the donee, the organization you are giving the amount, you need to select whether there is a deduction on this amount. Now, most of the charitable and religious organization have a donation limit of 50%, which you need to select. If it is a charitable organization started by the government, right? For example, if it is started by the central government, like PM Cares Fund, which was established for COVID, if any disaster relief fund is there, if any army jawans relief fund is there, in that case, 100% donation is deductible. All the other cases, charitable or religious institutes, in that case, it will be limited to 50%, right? So once you input the deductions, it's absolutely done. Again, there are a lot of other sections. For example, 80DD, if you have a dependent who has who is differently abled, depending on the disability percentage, amount of deduction is given. If it is more than 40% but lesser than 80%, then 75,000 rupees of deduction is given. If it is more than 80%, then 125,000 rupees of deduction is given. Now, if you are yourself is differently abled, then similar sort of deduction is given. If you have any interest on home loan, again, that amount is to be given to you. There is no limit on interest claim as deduction under 80EE. So that is there. A TEEA, interest on home loan, there are certain conditions which you need to fulfill. I will quickly go through the conditions. Firstly, the loan needs to be disbursed between 1st of April 2019 till 31st of March 2022. The house should not be valued more than 45 lakh rupees. The value means stamp duty value. And the house must be completed under affordable housing scheme, right? And the house property, the flat or building, whatever it may be, should be the house property of the person. If you are fulfilling that condition, then you can claim a deduction over and above 2 lakh rupees limit under section 24B. Now, if you have purchased an electric vehicle, in that case, there is a deduction up to 1,50,000 rupees if you have purchased it using a loan, and the interest that can be deducted up to 1,50,000 rupees. You can simply go ahead and input the amount and be done with it. Now, if you are contributing to political party, you need to make this contribution through account paycheck, and you can input the details. Now, again, if you are having or any dependent of you are having specified diseases, for example, motor neuron disease, Parkinson's disease, AIDS, etc., then all those details need to be declared over here. Finally, the details of tax paid, TDS and TCS that can be claimed over here. So if you have your form 16, you can simply upload your forms 26As, my bad. If you have form 26As that can be downloaded from the income tax portal, you can simply just input the 26As from here, and you can simply click this button, and from here you can just choose the file and upload it, right? Once you have done that, all the details will be picked, and finally, once you save it, it will be taken to you on the tax summary page, wherein the overall tax position of you will be shown over here, right? In this case, there is a tax refund which is coming due to there is certain claims of deductions and everything. Now, over here, we are also give this option to choose between the new tax regime and the old tax regime. If you select it, it will show you which regime might be beneficial for you, right? Therefore, you can just see and test for yourself which regime might be beneficial for you. Now, if you see under all this information that we have already inputted, my tax payable under the new tax regime would have been 21,000 rupees. But under the old tax regime, there is a refund coming up about 23,000 rupees. So we are going to stick with the old tax regime. Now, as we remember, the loss from the house property should have been 1,40,000 rupees. That has been captured. 1 lakh rupees for this particular year and 40,000 rupees for deduction claimed over a period of 5 years. Now, if we are happy with the entire scenario, we can simply just go ahead and file the income tax return. Now, since we are in assessment year 22-23, the return filing is not started. Therefore, it is not going to take us to final page where we can file our income tax return. However, once the filing starts, you will have the option over here to go ahead and finally file the income tax return. If you don't want to do that, you can certainly download the ITR JSON file, clicking this thing and download the JSON and uploading it to the income tax portal. Now, once you do that, you will reach at the final phase of your filing income tax return. After uploading the JSON or filing the income tax return, you have only one thing to do, that is you need to e-verify the tax return. Until and unless you are e-verifying the income tax return, the process is not completed. It can be done very simply by Aadhaar OTP. So once you file the income tax return, please e-verify the income tax return within a period of 30 days. If you do not do that, your filed income tax return will be seen as invalid income tax return. And if the return is invalid, that means as if you have not filed your income tax return. So to complete this process, please e-verify the income tax return within a period of 30 days. Now, that is it from my end. If you have any question from your side, we are going to address that. Right. We are going to wait for another couple of minutes. If no question is coming up, then we are going to end the session. All right. Okay, Sagar, if you are donating in a charitable trust, which they have given you a receipt, then if they are registered under 80G, then you can certainly claim that amount in your income tax return. And since this is a charitable trust, whatever amount you have donated, only 50% of that donation amount will be given to you as deduction, right? However, at the time of filing your income tax return, you need to mention their name, their address, and their PAN number. You need to quote their PAN number, right? All these details should be available from the receipt that you have received. Well, if it is registered under 80G, it should have 80G certification. Then only you can claim it. Otherwise, you cannot claim the deduction under 80G. Then certainly you can claim the amount, Sagar, but 50% of it. Right. We are currently at our end of the session. Thanks for joining with us. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Bye bye.